Good evening, everyone. Myself Arnab Ganguly, Assistant Professor of Electrical Engineering Department in Gargi Memorial Institute of Technology College. So today, in this class of Electrical and Electronics Measurement System, our topic is Digital Voltmeter. In our last class of measurement, we have discussed about the basics of the digital instruments, how it works, and also discuss about the working principle of digital frequency meter. Now today our topic is DVM, means digital voltmeter. Now digital voltmeter, from this name it suggests that it is going to measure the voltage value, and as it is a digital meter, so it operates on the principle of the discretized value. That means the analog quantities is going to be converted into the discretized quantized value, and then the digital logic circuitry and techniques are used to gives us the measurement value. So the first point, obviously this is used to measure the DC or AC voltage. Now by the various factors, depending on the various factors, we can give some varieties in the digital voltmeter. What are the factors? See, number one, that is number of digits. So we already know that by the number of digits we can differentiate the meters, digital meters, like 3-digit meters, 3.5-digit meters, 4-digit meters, etc. Next, the number of measurements, accuracy, speed of reading, and the digital output of several types. So by these factors we can do a variations of the digital voltmeter. So now when we are considering about the analogs and digitals, then firstly the points comes, that is what is the advantage or the comparisons. Here the digital voltmeters advantage is firstly the higher accuracy and resolutions. In our last class we already discussed about the characteristics of the digital instruments, where the accuracy, sensitivity, resolutions, these are already we have discussed. So the higher accuracy and resolutions, a greater speed, that means it takes very much less time to gives us the accurate outputs. No parallax error, that is, and the reduce the human error. These 2 points obviously very much applicable for the analog meters. We know that is the parallax error and obviously the human error, that means the human error depends on the eye precisions. So in the digital meters we actually gets the output values, so we can reduce these types of errors. Now in the basics of digital voltmeter we can classify these meters in basically 4 types. Number 1, that is a ramp type digital voltmeter. Number 2, that is dual slope integrating type digital voltmeter. Number 3, that is integrating type digital voltmeter, and another is successive approximation type digital voltmeter. So these are the 4 types of digital voltmeters. So now today we will going to discuss firstly about the ramp type digital voltmeters and its working principle. So the basics of the ramp type digital voltmeters, that is based on the principle that, see, the measurement of the time it takes, for a linear ramp voltage, to rise from 0 volt to the level of the input voltage. That means the measurement time, the total measurement time takes to generate a linear ramp voltage and reach that particular ramp voltage from 0 volt to the level of input voltage, or vice versa, that means decrease from the level of input voltage to the 0. So this time actually takens, and by taking this time, that means this interval of this time is the actual measuring things, and by measuring this interval of times with the counter, in turns we get the values of the unknown voltage quantity. That means from this it is very much clear that here the ramp voltage, the ramp type pulse is generated, and obviously by comparing this ramp voltage to the input voltage waveform, input voltage signal, then the actual interval of the time, that interval of the time is going to be measured when the gate is in the enabled conditions and the clock pulses will passing through the gate. Now we will going to see the basic block diagram and circuit. See, so this is the basic block diagram and circuit of digital voltmeter. This is the ramp type meter. See here, you can see that this is the ramp type digital voltmeter block diagram. See, this is the DC input voltage that is applied here through a ranging and attenuator module that is applied to the input comparator. This comparator module is actually used to compare between the generated ramp voltage and the applied input voltage. Now see, this is a ramp generator. This ramp generator, in the beginning of the system, in the beginning of the measurement cycle, this ramp generator is going to initiate a ramp voltage pulse, and that pulse, maybe this voltage will be a negative going types or that may be a positive going type. See here, this is the graph. This is the graph. Here you can see that that is a voltage to time conversion using gated clock pulse. Now this is the graph, that is a plus 12 volt minus 12 volt axis. This is 0 volt, and with respect to time t, at the start of the measurement, see, this is the start of the measurement. At the start of the measurement, a ramp voltage, that is a negative going voltage. Here this ramp voltage nature is that is going to be in negative direction. So that is a negative going type ramp voltage generated. From where generated? That is a ramp generator is going to generated this. And this ramp voltage is also applied to this input comparator, where the input unknown voltage is also applied. Now by the used of this in comparator circuit, actually in the every instant this comparator circuit is used to comparing this ramp voltage and this input voltage, input unknown voltage and this generated ramp voltage. This input comparator is going to compare between these two parameters. Now after a certain time, what happens, these two voltage, this ramp generated voltage and this input voltage, that is unknown quantity, that is going to be matched. And when that is going to be matched, that can be taken by using this comparator. This comparator, by using the comparing these two voltage, it can sense when this voltage and this unknown voltage is coincide or matched. So see, this is our graph. Here this is the dotted lines, and from this dotted line pulse, this is the coincidence part. This is the coincidence part when the ramp voltage and input unknown voltage is going to be matched. So this is the part which called coincidence. So in this coincidence part, when it happens, then this comparator circuit gives a pulse to the gate. That means when the input voltage and this ramp generated voltage is matched, then the input comparator is going to gives a pulse to the gate, and this gate is going to be enabled. So this pulse is called as start pulse. Now after doing the enabling of this gate, what happens, this is a oscillator circuit, that is this oscillator is going to give the oscillator clock pulse through this gate, and this clock pulse is going to passing through the gate in this time interval. That means when this start pulse is going to enable the gate, then the oscillator clock pulse is going to passing through this gate. Now this is going to continues, and this ramp voltage is going to be decreased, and unless it is going to be in the 0 point, that is the 0 value, then this gate circuit is in enabled conditions and the oscillator clock pulse is passing through this gate circuit. Now after that is reached to the 0 value or the ground potential, then what happens, see, there is another comparator circuit that is called as a ground comparator. Then when this ramp voltage reached at the 0 point, then this ground comparator is going to gives the pulse to the gate. This pulse is called as a stop pulse, and this stop pulse then disabled the gate. That means this is the interval, you can see this graph, this is the interval time t for which this clock pulse, that is a train of pulse going to passing through this gate, and when the voltage, the ramp voltage is reached at the 0 point, then the ground comparator circuit providing a stop pulse which disabled the gate, and obviously that is the ends of the gating time interval. So what happens here, you can see that, so there is a start pulse and stop pulse between which the gate circuit is in the enabled condition and the oscillator clock pulse is passing through this gate, and the counter is counting the number of pulse passing through the gate in this time. Now what is the rate of this measurement, that can be defined or decided by this sample rate multivibrator. This sample rate multivibrator used to determine the pace or the speed of this cycle. So what happens, for a particular frequency, for a particular speed, then in a particular time interval the some clock pulse is passing through this gate and the counter is counting this pulse with respect to the time. So the digital readout gives us the value that is actually the value of this counting, and this counting value is going to gives us the indications or the direct value of the unknown input voltage. Because why we have called this, because you can see that as when this input voltage and the ramp generated voltage is matched, then only the gate pulse, start pulse is provided to the gate and the gate is in enabled conditions, and then only the clock pulse is passing through the gate. So this is a cycle, we can call it as a voltage to time conversion, and up to until the stop pulse is provided to the gate by the ground comparator, the gate is opened, that means in enabled conditions, and the pulse from the oscillator is passing through that, and counter counts this value. And obviously you can see that this is the time interval up to which the ramp generated voltage is decreased from the input voltage to the 0. In the principle of ramp generated DVM, we already discussed here, you can see that is based on the measurement of the time it takes for a linear ramp voltage to rise from 0 volt to the level of input volt or decrease from the level of input voltage to the 0. That means up to the time when this is decreasing from the input voltage to the 0, this interval of this time is measured with the counter, and counter in turns gives the value of the input unknown voltage. And this sample rate multivibrator, this has another function here. Then after this gate is in disabled conditions and the total cycle is over, then for the next cycle sample rate multivibrator used to initiate this ramp generator to initiate the ramp voltage, and on that time also a reset pulse is applied and the counters and the others also going to be its initial value, that means 0. Then only the next pulse from the ramp generator is going to provided here. So by this comparison between the ramp generated voltage and the input voltage, and by the help of this voltage time conversion circuit, we can get the outputs of we get the values of the input voltage, unknown voltage, in terms of the time. So this is called the ramp type DVM. Now in our next part, this is another type, that is we can call as dual slope integrating type DVM. This is another type of voltmeter. Here you can see the block diagram, that is 5 blocks is here, that is a integrator circuit. You can see that this is a integrator circuit, this is a comparator circuit, that is a digital control logics, and the counter, and also a oscillating clock pulse block. So these are the 5 blocks. What are the blocks? Number 1, that is a integrator block. Number 2, that is the comparator circuit. Number 3, this is our control logic circuit. Now number 4, that is the sets of counters, and number 5, obviously the clock pulse block. Now that is a dual slope integrating type DVM. Here you can see that as we have used this term dual slope integrating type, that means there is a integrator circuit is used here. Now what happens, you see this is the unknown voltage Vx, and this is a predetermined preset reference voltage V reference, and here a switch S is used. This is a resistance, that is a basic op-amp circuit, that is a comparator, and then the control circuits. Now see that firstly, when this switch S is connected with the terminals of unknown voltage Vx, then this voltage is applied here, and obviously in turns it is going to charge the capacitor C. So this particular cycle is going to happen for a predetermined time, that is here denoted as capital T. So for this predetermined time, how you can determine this time? By measuring the clock frequency, we can set this predetermined time T, and up to T point this is happening, this voltage, unknown voltage, is appearing here and going to charge the capacitor C, as well as when the capacitor is going to starting the charging conditions, then the integrated output is obviously reached above the 0 voltage, and then the comparator circuit is going to provide the pulse to the gate circuits, and gate circuits is now in enable conditions. As the gate circuits is enable conditions, so the clock pulse obviously here passing through this gate circuit, and the counter is going to makes the count of this clock pulse. Here you can see that is a train of pulse. So the counter is going to measure this train of pulse plus passing through the gate circuit. Now counter makes the counts. After a certain time, that means after this predetermined time T reaches, what happens? This switches changes its positions, and it is connected with the reference value V reference. This reference voltage value is already set. So this is the known value to the system. Now this switch is applied here, switch is connected here, and what happens? You can see that after switch is connected here, now obviously that is a opposite polarity voltage applied to the integrator circuit, as it is the opposite polarity, so the capacitor is going to be in discharging conditions. So up to now we can get the slope for the voltage Vx, that is a slope in the positive direction, that is a increasing direction, that is a linear slope. Now as the capacitor is going to be in discharging condition, as this is a opposite polarity voltage applied, so the slope is going to decrease in this manner, and this reference voltage is actually applied here for a unknown time period t, that is a small t. Here we see that is a unknown time t for which this reference voltage is applied here. So up to which it is applied, actually the capacitor is now in the charging conditions. So after this voltage is applied here, this reference voltage is applied here, capacitor is going to discharge, and it is discharged up to its initial value. That means this is the initial value of capacitor, and capacitor going to in charged condition for the unknown voltage Vx, and now it is going to in discharging conditions for this reference voltage applications, and this is comes to its initial value, and until it comes to its initial value, this reference voltage is applied here, and these gate circuits and all are in the enabled conditions. So until this point, obviously again the clock pulses is going to passing through the gate circuit, and counter goes to count this. So when this is in the zero condition, this reached in the zero conditions, that means its initial conditions, then what happens? The gate is going to be in disabled conditions. So up to this interval, the clock pulse passing through the counter, and counter makes the count, and in turns it is going to give us the value of the unknown voltage Vx, because this unknown voltage is going to charge the capacitor C in this manner, and then as the applications of the reference voltage of opposite polarity reference voltage to the integrator circuit, so now the capacitor is going to in discharging condition, and that is discharge up to its initial value. So if we comparing these two slopes, we can say that the counter that counts the clock pulse passing through the gate as it is in the enable condition, so this is in turns gives us the value of the unknown voltage, and by comparing these two slopes, as it is called a dual slope system, we see that is Vx by t equal to V reference divided by small t, and from this the Vx equal to V reference into capital T into small t. So if we determine this small t, then we can known that Vx value, because V reference and capital T is known to the system. So if the small t value is known to, if the small t value is determined, then by determining this we can get the unknown voltage value of Vx. So by comparing these two slopes we do this. So this is called a dual slope system, and as this is an integrator circuit, so we call this as a dual slope integrating type DVM. So that's all. That is for today's topics. We have already discussed about the digital voltmeters and the two types digital voltmeters, that is RAM type and dual slope type. In our next class we will discuss about the other types of digital voltmeter circuits. Okay, thank you.